exclusive look inside tonight's Lincoln Day dinner that started at 6:30 at Mar-a-Lago. You can see President Trump walk into this Palm Beach County Republican fundraising event, shake hands with several people in the crowd. Now, our source says there was no mention about the Mueller report being handed over to the DOJ earlier this evening, and that the president didn't stay very long at the event. However, we do know Trump is expected to stay here in Palm Beach County through the weekend. So for now, it becomes a wait and see as to whether or not Trump does say anything about this investigation that now has been more than 2 years.
Jillian, thank you very much for your report and that inside look. We appreciate it. Again, the president, often known for his early morning tweets. We'll see if we see a tweet storm sometime this weekend. Again, as Jillian indicated, he'll be here throughout the weekend. But ultimately, it comes down to this. The Mueller report is now concluded. Its questions, though, answered perhaps to the satisfaction of some and certainly not to that of others. The debate is only now really beginning. Though the report is concluded, the fight over its political implications, that will go on for quite some time to come. And we only have to go by what we've seen in the past to know that what's ahead will be a furious fight all the way through the 2020 campaign. For now, reporting from near Mar-a-Lago, I'm Michael Williams, WPTV News Channel 5.
The president, Michael, tweeting about 6 hours ago. Stay with WPTV News for any breaking developments now that the Mueller report is complete. We'll also send you breaking news alerts straight to your phone through the WPTV mobile app.
Well, a great day across South Florida. Temperatures warming up into the mid-70s. We've cooled off into the 50s and low 60s now, and the winds are starting to lighten up a little bit, which makes for a little bit more cooling, almost into the 40s across Port St. Lucie and up around Fort Pierce and Vero. Here is where we end up. This will be just before sunrise, around 4 to 7 in the morning. Sunrise is around 7:30. 45 in Okeechobee, mid and high 40s along the coast for late overnight temperatures. And warming up quickly. So we start off in the 40s and low 50s, but lots of sunshine on the way. And we get into the mid and high 70s by the early afternoon. I'll let you know if there's a better day to get outside this weekend. And we're tracking another cold front. I'll let you know when that'll arrive. Coming up.
Steve, thank you. The woman who founded the Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter speaking out about the call for the FBI to investigate her relationship with President Donald Trump. Cindy Yang made headlines following that prostitution bust. She used to own the spa, and a selfie that she posted with the president came to light. This one right here. Now, we told you how Democrats are now calling for an FBI investigation into this. They want to know what access Yang claimed to have to the president and also potential security issues. Yang denying the allegations, and today her lawyers say she will pursue a lawsuit.
This is just a witch hunt that has destroyed an innocent woman who has lived and proved that you can make it in America.
The FBI has not commented on the call for this investigation. Yang's lawyers say they have not been in contact with the FBI, but add they are looking into possible lawsuits against 2 media outlets. The Parkland community mourning another loss today. One of the survivors of the Stoneman Douglas shooting actually took her own life. WPTV News Channel 5's Jay Cashmere joining us now with one mother's call for awareness. Jay?
And a tragic day that brought the reality of that fateful day years ago back. And this is Sydney Aiello. She was a recent Marjory Stoneman Douglas graduate. Aiello was at school the day of the mass shooting when 17 people lost their lives. She was close friends with shooting victim Meadow Pollack. Aiello's mother said her daughter struggled with survivor's guilt and was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. She said Aiello had trouble attending college classes because she was afraid of being in the classroom. She was sad but never asked for help. Ryan Petty's daughter, Elena, died during the shooting, and since then, he's focused on suicide prevention.
It breaks my heart that we've lost yet another student from Stoneman Douglas. My advice to parents is ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't wait.
According to Children's Services Council of Broward County, parents need to be on the lookout for those warning signs, patterns like self-harm or avoiding important activities. Ann?
Jay, thank you. Important for people struggling to know they are not alone. There is help if you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That number you see right there on your TV screen, it is 1-800-273-8255. New at 11 o'clock, an update on a Delray Beach teen making a remarkable recovery. 19-year-old Farrah Fox. She was severely injured last July after an off-duty PBSO deputy ran a stop sign and then crashed into the car that she was a passenger in. The teen is now relearning how to walk, talk, write, and even brush her teeth. Today, after spending months in a rehab facility in Orlando, her family welcomed her home. And her family says she still has a long way to go, a long road to recovery. Farrah will be doing outpatient therapy for the next several months in South Florida. Her younger sister, Madison, says that she is looking forward to the day that the two can ride bikes together to the beach. Until then, though, she is helping her relearn the daily task and refusing to leave her side.
A doctor came in and saw us and sat down with my dad, my mom, and I, and he was very blunt. He was just like, I'm just going to put it straight to you guys. I've seen things like this break families apart. And my dad, of course, being the jokester that he is, was just like, don't worry, boss, we're already divorced. And so, in my opinion, although we were on opposite sides of the state, struggling to be a family, I think it's brought us closer together.
The family says medical bills have exceeded more than $2 million. The family says they have a fund set up to help their daughter make that full recovery. And if you'd like information on that, head to our website. It's WPTV.com. Only on 5, a Palm Beach Gardens teacher and his personal fight rallying a community together. Robert Goodman battled back from cancer and a heart attack. Now he's headed back to the classroom. WPTV News Channel 5's Andrew Lofholm was the first reporter to tell Robert's story, and tonight he has this exclusive update.
Music, as Robert Goodman would say, is how he communes with the universe. Spiritualness helped guide him through a cancer battle, a heart attack, and love.
I learned a great lesson that, you should never be afraid to ask for help. Help is that other component of love.
Fellow teachers like Dawn McKeach didn't even know Robert before he asked for donated sick time. She donated twice.
Well, you just learn how much teachers work together and how we have to help each other out.
Without the help that I received, I would have lost everything I've ever worked for my entire life.
Robert's last day in the classroom was April 17th last year. He had enough sick days donated to him to get him to a place physically where he can return. Life in that time sped up, but also slowed down. Closer to death than he's ever been, Robert focused on making each day meaningful.
We only live now. This is our moment.
While nervous to get back into the classroom, he realizes his students never really stopped learning from him.
Now, the kids are like trees without fruit, and we may never see the fruit that bears from these children. But I know through this experience about how many have reached out to me that there's a lot of fruit out there that's doing some good things.
Andrew Lofholm, WPTV News Channel 5.
You might have noticed that Robert was in blue, and that is for colon cancer awareness. Now, he says he will continue to spread awareness about colonoscopies even after returning to the classroom. Get your vaccines delivered right to your front door? The shipping company ready to jump into the healthcare market. Should dogs have human-sounding names? Why one sheriff's office in Florida is wading into this debate. And we're going to take you back to the Southern White House tonight on Palm Beach, why several leaders from the Caribbean met with President Trump today. And here's what we are working on when you wake up with WPTV Monday morning.
WPTV Monday.
Start your week and get back into your routine with weather every 5 minutes.
And will 95, the Turnpike, or something else slow you down? Only Chopper 5 gives you that bird's eye view.
Guiding your way smoothly and on time.
Monday, 4:30 to 7 a.m. Wake up with WPTV.
Just hours before Robert Mueller completed his investigation and submitted his report, President Trump met with Caribbean leaders at his house on Palm Beach. WPTV anchor Michael Williams rejoining us right now live from Palm Beach with more on this. Michael?
Good evening, Ann. Mar-a-Lago behind me. No tweets from the president tonight about the release of the Mueller report, the long-anticipated Mueller report. A bit more on that in a moment. That, of course, overshadowing all else, including his meeting today, as you look at footage with leaders from Jamaica, Bahamas, Haiti, St. Lucia, and the Dominican Republic, all of them with the U.S. joining to ratchet the pressure on Venezuela and the socialist leader there, Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. Treasury now announcing today it's ratcheting up sanctions there to try and put a financial stranglehold, or an even bigger one, on the socialist leader there, as the U.S. and so many others are supporting the opposition leader, Juan Guaido, in Venezuela. So that one of the storylines coming out today. It was followed just hours later, of course, by the long anticipated release of the Robert Mueller report about the question ultimately, was there Russian collusion in concert with the Trump campaign in the 2016 presidential race? We await the nuance of all of those answers. That confidential report now in the hands of the U.S. Attorney General. We may see, in the words of the AG, some primary considerations and conclusions this weekend. But how much of the report will become public? That is the overarching question tonight, and already everybody, depending on what their view is on the political prism, lining up critically and otherwise over the Mueller report. The report is done. The debate about what it ultimately means politically for the president, that goes on. Reporting live from near Mar-a-Lago, I'm Michael Williams. Now back to you, Ann.
Michael, thank you. And of course, we'll keep you updated. If the president decides to tweet throughout the weekend, he is here, of course, in West Palm Beach in our area. And if he talks about this report, we will bring that to you right here on WPTV. Meantime, UPS wants to deliver nurses to your house. It's a way that company can actually get into the healthcare world. UPS will test a service that sends nurses to people's homes to give them shots. Now, the challenge, right now at least, is the cost and competition from other companies like Amazon. UPS says it will ship vaccines from a healthcare facility to its UPS stores across the country. A nurse would then pick up the shots and then go to the patient's house. Astronauts on board the International Space Station carrying out the first spacewalk of 2019. The mission changing the batteries on one of the solar arrays. The new cells will be stronger and hold more charge too. It's a much tougher job than down here on Earth, as you can imagine. You can see the astronauts trying to keep track of all their tools in zero gravity. And if you have plans to head to the beach this weekend, you are going to want to stay away at least from one beach in St. Lucie County. The health department just issued a no swimming advisory for JC Park on South Hutchinson Island. The advisory was issued due to high levels of bacteria in the water. Now to protecting paradise. It's our commitment to raising awareness of the environmental issues that affect your quality of life. Students ranging in age from elementary school to college are protecting paradise in Martin County. They are hoping to inspire others to follow along. A group called Students for H2O making environmentally friendly changes locally in hopes of sparking a movement across the country, across the world. They're the group behind the annual Water Fest, a free event that is happening tomorrow in Memorial Park in Stuart. They recently added plastic bag recycling bins in Martin County schools and also cigarette butt receptacles in downtown Stuart. The students also raise awareness of the global water crisis and also the lack of access to fresh water in other countries.
We like to think global and act local, because if we help act local and beautify our community, then we're ultimately helping protect our planet.
You can meet these inspiring students yourself tomorrow at Waterfest from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. That again is in Memorial Park in Stuart. And WPTV is committed to protecting our paradise. You will find original stories, investigations, and ways that you can get involved on WPTV.com/paradise.
All right, and we have a lot going on this weekend. We need some nice weather. It started off pleasant today. We warmed up into the mid-70s, and we're cooling off quickly tonight with a clear sky and already into the 50s and low 60s across Palm Beach County. And we'll fall another 5 to 10 degrees for overnight lows. And there's a look at the Treasure Coast. Temperature very similar to last night. Maybe a degree or two cooler with 40s inland and even around Wellington, Loxahatchee, high 40s, low 50s along the coastline. Just before sunrise, which is around 7:30 tomorrow morning, we start to warm up again. And there's a look at the Treasure Coast.